Our founder flames. This right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe.
Imagine booking a soul session, ordering crystals, and joining a live retreat from your phone. For too long, finding the right healers, the right products, the right community has meant endless searching across scattered corners of the internet. That changes now. The Sacred Kingdom has arrived, an online hub where a worldwide directory of holistic practitioners, readers, life guides, organic makers, musicians, a crystal shop, books, and more are all waiting for you. Book one-on-one sessions, order products, and discover Kingdom members serving locally in your area, all from your fingertips, wherever you are, whenever you're ready. Stay connected to upcoming events and retreats, both online and in person. Tap into a YouTube channel built for real conversation, hands-on holistic learning, and free giveaways. And there's more coming: courses, programs, a holistic recipe book, and the Sacred Kingdom Mystery School Academy mentorship. This is a space built on love, compassion, and the belief that conscious living should be accessible to all walks of life. Visit thesacredkingdom.com, and if you feel called to build from within, email Marcus ChristoLight at marcustut23@gmail.com about joining the Kingdom Council. The Kingdom is open.
Hello, hello. Grand rising and grand day, everyone. Welcome to a new episode, Fresh Live, as we deep dive and continue this series on Grand Rising with ChristoLight, diving into the archetypes and into the incarnations and journeys of many different Ascended Masters. So we've been really exploring some deep archetypes, not just archetypes, but incarnations and walks as humans on this earth. We have been deep diving into figures such as Yeshua, the Christ. We've talked about Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary. We've talked about Krishna yesterday. So we've been really deep diving and uncovering the origins behind these archetypes, peeling back the layers of the dogmatic structuring and the dogmatic religions and the skewing that has taken place over time, so that we can ultimately return to our awareness and into our consciousness of what it means to be self-realized, being directly connected to the Creator, with no third party, no mediary, but just being you, and knowing that that spark is breathing inside of you in every single moment, with every breath of life. no matter how high or how low your life is, but to remember that you are the observer and you're the walker that is walking through time and space. All right. So before we dive in and explore our archetype for today, which is going to be the Bodhisattva of the Asian and Indian traditions, and that is going to be Quan Yin. Quan Yin is spelled with a K, it's spelled with a Q, depending on the culture, but either way, same archetype, same energy, and it's really up to you on what you decide. So yeah, before we dive in, you can check out that QR code up on the corner of the screen, and then you can also go to the site in the ticker or down below in the description, and there you can access and book one-on-one healing, shamanic services with me, as well as deep dive into the kind of retreats that we have available. And then you can also tap in with the Sacred Kingdom international community, which is full of like minds like myself, practitioners, artists, musicians, organic product makers, life guides, spiritual folks, all sorts that you can connect with through our directory and website link, where you'll be able to find anyone that's around you or connect with anyone digital online as well. And then on top of that, I also am partnered with a clinical reishi coffee right here actually. And this clinical privately owned reishi coffee is lab tested and it's transparent. You can even go to the lab test results yourself. And then everything is clean, organic, and full of love for you. It's really important on what we're consuming, that we're consuming transparency, that we're consuming good nutrition, and that we're not consuming hazardous and toxic poisons. Grand Rising, Soul Fam, Grand Rising, Lunar Queen. Grand Rising, everyone in here. Thank you all for tuning in. Get cozy. Get ready to enjoy this episode. We're about to deep dive and uncover the origins of Quan Yin. We're about to hear about her story as the human incarnation, as well as her archetype and symbolic representation in this universe that we are in. And for everyone out there, Lunar Queen, in the comments, if you guys are not following her, feel free to follow her on Facebook, Ali Lunar Queen. She does offer readings. She also does astral guidance. And then she's an oracle as well, so she helps with just any type of spiritual guidance. And then she also has a crystal shop. She actually owns the main crystal shop of our Sacred Kingdom community. So yeah, for everyone here, welcome again. And feel free to comment throughout this episode. You can share your questions. You can share any type of reflections or realizations that you have, or if there's anything or experiences that you've had with Quan Yin that you want to share, feel free to share them in the comments. Or if you feel brave enough, let me know and I'll let you hop on the live and you can talk a little bit about Quan Yin and your relationship with Quan Yin. And then for me personally, with Quan Yin, I've been doing Quan Yin tea ceremonies at different events and retreats, and I've done a variety of styles. One of my favorite ways was with rose quartz, while also doing offerings from journaling. And basically, I was in Arizona, and the way I facilitated this was we did reflection and talked about what Quan Yin is. And then we talked about karmic energy that we wanted to release from our hearts. And then we wrote it down. And then as we wrote it, excuse me. Whoa. I think that was like the first time I've ever sneezed on live. A very real human moment. But so yeah, we wrote down the karmic energy that we wanted to release. I went one by one Quan Yin statue on Quan Yin altar, and it had like flowers and rose quartz all around it. And everyone would come up one by one and connect with Quan Yin, give their offering and say what they needed to telepathically. And then they would give their offering to Quan Yin. And then after that, I did a sound healing for us as well. And it was just so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then of course we had tea, and we connected with our tea beforehand and everything of that nature. Bless you too, Lunar Queen. Thank you. 1010. It's my mom in the background. Mama Robin's over there. And my sister's over there that you guys saw. She's like, nope, I ain't being on there. I was celebrating my birthday yesterday for everyone out there. Just turned 31. 31 young. All right. She said for your sneeze. All right, guys. Coming up tomorrow on Friday, we're gonna have our second edition. You guys are gonna want to tune into this. The second edition of Unite the 144 Tribe. You're fired. So Unite the 44 is going to be tomorrow at 10:44 a.m. Eastern. And it's going to be hosted by our sister Phoenix in the community. She'll be talking about the daily gene key, as well as the daily galactic wave spell to help give us that galactic medicine of what energies we're working with in the organic grid. And then on top of that, she'll be bringing in some more knowledge and wisdom as well. So check it out. It's coming up tomorrow, 10:44 a.m. Eastern. You guys can watch it on the broadcast network. Unlocking the codes, unraveling the DNA, the cosmic history, unveiled, the galactic Maya, wave spell, gene keys, synchronizing, the harmony as we rise and unite the 144. Hosted by Phoenix Returns, Mondays and Fridays, 10:44 a.m. Eastern. All right. I just read a comment that said, happy birthday, Gemini, that fits. I don't know what that means. Anytime someone says something about Gemini, I'm like, oh boy, what kind of shade are they throwing? That fits. What is that supposed to mean? All right. Let's continue, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up our text, and then we're gonna deep dive into Quan Yin. Let's get some good background music for us. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So this website that we're about to read from is called TSL. So you can just go on Google and you can type in Quan Yin TSL. You can type in Jesus TSL, or you can type in Buddha TSL, and then it'll come up with this page for you. It's the Ascended Master Encyclopedia. All right.
I think it was BIID.
Quan Yin. So Quan Yin is revered in Buddhism as the compassionate savioress, the Bodhisattva of mercy, beloved as a mother figure and divine mediatrix who is close to the daily affairs of her devotees. Quan Yin's role as Buddhist Madonna has been compared to that of Mary, the mother of Jesus, in the West. Throughout the Far East, devotees seek her guidance and succor in every area of life. Altars dedicated to Quan Yin can be found in temples, homes, and wayside grottos. The name Quan Yin, as she is often called, means the one who regards, looks on, or hears the sounds of the world. Quan Yin was about to enter heaven, but paused on the threshold as the cries of the world reached her ears. Quan Yin is revered as protectress of women, sailors, merchants, craftsmen, those under criminal prosecution, and those desiring progeny. There is an implicit trust in Quan Yin's saving grace and healing powers. Many believe that even the simple reaction of her name will bring her instantly to the scene. Quan Yin's crystal rosary contains her mantras and is a powerful means of invoking her intercession. Today, Quan Yin is worshipped by Taoist as well as Mahayana Buddhist, especially in Taiwan, Japan, Korea, and once again in the homeland of China, where the practice of Buddhism had been suppressed by the communists during the Cultural Revolution in 66 to 69. Interesting. Let's go ahead and read about Quan Yin's crystal rosary. I've actually never heard of this. Oh, there's a book too by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, of course. If you're interested in books about Ascended Masters, just look up Elizabeth and Mark Prophet. They have a whole index and library for you. So, Quan Yin's Crystal Rosary, Devotions to the Divine Mother, East and West, is a New Age ritual of hymns, prayers, Chinese mantras, and invokes the merciful presence of Quan Yin, the Bodhisattva of compassion. This ritual of prayer and meditation is derived from ancient Chinese mantras, sutras, and novenas, combined with songs and mantras to the Divine Mother East and West, such as the Hail Mary, as well as dynamic decrees invoking the violet flame and the protection of the heavenly host. It includes the 10 vows of Quan Yin, taken from the Great Compassion Heart, Dharani Sutra, Quan Yin mantras for the women and her seed using sacred names, titles and mantras of Quan Yin arranged according to the 14 stations of the Aquarian Cross, mantras to the 33 manifestations of Avalokitesvara as Quan Yin. Oof, bear with me with these words sometimes. The science of the spoken word. Oh, this is really interesting. It's talking about different practices and cultural references that correlate. The 14 stations of the Aquarian Cross. Let's check that out. We're getting into some things I've never seen before with Quan Yin. The 14 stations of the cross, 14 key events in Jesus' walking the way of the cross. The 14 stations of the cross are a coil of energy that unwinds, and they are also the spiral of energy whereby we build the divine momentum of our attainment and of our initiation on the path. God has now ordained that we should face the full energy and weight of our entire past karma in one day, and therefore he unwinds that coil of energy increpment by increpment, as Jesus tells us, sufficient unto the day is the evil, therefore, or wait, hold on, let me read that again. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. The initiation of each station is to take the energy and demand that it can be transmuted by the sacred fire according to the nature of the initiation of that station. That which cannot stand the trial by fire and love is consumed by the Holy Ghost, by the violet flame, and that which can stand is sealed for eternity. The stations on the lines of the cosmic clock. The stations can be charted on the lines of a clock representing the 12 solar hierarchies. We place the first station on the 12 o'clock line and proceed in a clockwise direction. Each time you change a position on the cosmic clock, it is an entirely different initiation because you are dealing with different energies. That's a different way to look at a clock. First station. Okay, I'm not going to go into all the stations. It's quite a bit. But yeah, you guys can check this out by going on the same website, ascendedmasterencyclopedia.org. Pretty cool. Okay, so traditions in the East. For centuries, Quan Yin has epitomized the great ideal of Mahayana Buddhism and her role as Bodhisattva, literally a being of Bodhi or enlightenment, who is destined to become a Buddha, but has foregone the bliss of nirvana with a vow to save all children of God. Quan Yin has taken the Bodhisattva vow to work with the evolutions of this planet and the solar system to show them the way of the teachings of the Ascended Masters. Quan Yin was worshipped in China before the advent of Buddhism and therefore adopted by Buddhists as an incarnation of Padmapani. Devotees invoke the Bodhisattva's body or power in merciful intercession with the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. Hail to the jewel in the lotus, or as has also been interpreted, hail to Avalokitesvara, who is the jewel in the heart of the lotus of the devotee's heart. According to legend, he was born from a ray of white light that Amitabha, the Buddha of boundless light, emitted from his right eye as he was lost in ecstasy. Thus, Avalokitesvara, or Quan Yin, is regarded as the reflex of Amitabha, a further eminent or embodiment of great compassion. The quality that Amitabha embodies, devotees believe that Quan Yin, as the merciful redemptress, expresses Amitabha's compassion in a more direct and personal way, and that prayers to her are answered more quickly. In the Pure Land sect of Buddhism, Quan Yin forms part of a ruling triad that is often depicted in temples and is a popular theme in Buddhist art. In the center of the Buddha of boundless light, Amitabha, to his right, is the Bodhisattva of strength or power. And to the left is Quan Yin, personifying his endless mercy. In Buddhism theology, Quan Yin is sometimes depicted as the captain of the bark of salvation, guiding souls to Western paradise or Pure Land, the land of bliss where souls may be reborn to receive continued instruction toward the goal of enlightenment and perfection. The journey to Pure Land is frequently represented in woodcuts, showing boats full of followers under Quan Yin's captainship. One of Quan Yin's principal emblems is the willow branch. According to Buddhist belief, she used the willow branch to drive away illness and to sprinkle the nectar of wisdom and compassion upon all who invoke her assistance. In some Asian traditions, prayers to cure disease were given while stroking the afflicted person with a willow branch. Quan Yin is considered to be the bestower of children, and she is often depicted with an infant. In Taiwan, there is also a legend that in one of her embodiments she was a mother and therefore is shown with her child. She is often depicted standing on a dragon. The dragon for the Chinese people represents China and their divine lineage, It is also a symbol of the entire spirit of the Great White Brotherhood. And its antithesis, the dragon is seen in the book of Revelation, giving power to the beast. So a dragon is a thought form of a great hierarchy, whether embodying the force of light or the force of darkness. In Chinese lore, the dragon and the phoenix bird together represent yang and yin on the whirling Tai Chi. So the image of Quan Yin riding a dragon shows her having dominion over the dragon in the sense of being the master of it. And here's a picture for everyone. So feel free to connect with that picture if you would like. Oh, we got Lunar Queen from another account on YouTube now. Welcome in, Kat. And for everyone that doesn't know Kat yet, you can follow her on Facebook, Katrina. She offers tea ceremonies and many different holistic and energy practices. And she is definitely one to reach out to if you have some shadow work to do and things of that nature. I got 3 views and 3 likes right now. 3. All right. So continuing. I'm gonna go ahead and read this last section. Well, not last, but I'm gonna read this section and then we'll take a pause and watch one of our informal videos. So it says, Mia Shan. It is widely believed that Quan Yin took embodiment as the 3rd daughter of Miao Chuang Wang, identified with the Zhou dynasty, the ruler of a northern Chinese kingdom in the 6th century BC. The king had seized his throne by forces of arms, and he desperately desired a male heir to succeed him. Instead, he had 3 daughters. The youngest, Mao Shan, was a devout child who scrupulously observed all of the tenets of the Buddhist doctrines. Virtuous living seemed indeed to be her second nature. She recognized the impermanence of riches and glory and desired nothing more than a peaceful retreat on a lone mountain. She told her sisters that if someday I can reach a high degree of goodness, I will rescue my father and mother and bring them to heaven. I will save the miserable and afflicted on earth. I will convert the spirits which do evil to cause them to do good. Mao Shan's father determined to find a husband for her who would be capable of ruling the kingdom. The king explained his plans and told her that all his hopes rested on her. Mao Shan said that she did not wish to marry because she desired to attain perfection in Buddhahood. She did not wish to marry, that is. So the king was angry. Has anyone known the daughter of a king to become a nun? Then he demanded that she marry a academician or a military man at once, recognizing that she could not openly disobey her father's orders. Mao Shan said that she would immediately marry a physician, since she could then still become a Buddha. Outraged, the king offered his officer to take her to the queen's garden and let her perish there of cold. Wow. It's amazing what these kings and queens do to their children if they don't obey them. So Mao Shan retired to the garden, glad to exchange the pleasures of the palace for the sweetness of solitude. Her parents, sisters, and ladies of the court tried in vain to dissuade Mao Shan from her purpose. Instead, she asked her father's permission to live in the nunnery of the White Bird. The king consented, but sent strict orders to the nunnery that the nuns should do all in their power to persuade Mao Shan to leave. The nuns tried but failed. They then dedicated to put Mao Shan in charge of the kitchen, where if she failed, they could dismiss her. Mao Shan so joyously agreed that she touched the heart of the Master of Heaven, who ordered the spirits of heaven to assist her in her duties. The superior of the nunnery then asked the king to recall his daughter. The king sent 5,000 soldiers to surround the nunnery of the White Bird and burn it to the ground along with the nuns. The nuns invoked the aid of heaven, but said to Mao Shan, "It is you who have brought upon this terrible disaster." Mao Shan agreed that it was so. She knelt and prayed to heaven, and then picked up the roof of her mouth with her bamboo hairpin and spat the flowing blood toward heaven. Great clouds immediately gathered and showers put out in the fire, threatening the nunnery. The nuns threw themselves on their knees and thanked Mao Shan for saving their lives. The king, informed of this miracle, was enraged and ordered the chief of the guard to immediately behead Mao Shan. As the execution was to begin, the sky became overcast, but a bright light surrounded Mao Shan. When the executioner's sword fell upon her neck, it broke. A spear thrust at her fell to pieces. The king ordered that she be strangled with a silken cord, but a tiger leaped into the execution grounds, dispersed the executioners, put the animate body of Mao Shan on his back, and disappeared into the pine forest. What in the world? Wow. So basically what they're saying is, the more in tune you are with nature and God, the more miracles will take place in your life in the most unexpected of times. Welcome, Warren. Grand day. Okay. Wow. So Mao Shan's soul, which was not her, was taken to the lower world, aka hell, the lower dimensions. She prayed and was transformed into a paradise. She was sent back to Earth to resume her life there, carried on a lotus flower to the island of Piu O Shan, the sacred island mountain in the Chuzan archipelago off the coast of Chekiang. She lived for 9 years, healing the diseased and saving mariners from shipwreck. It is said that once, when word was brought to her that her father had fallen ill, she cut the flesh from her arm and used as a medicine that saved his life. In gratitude, he ordered that a statue be erected in her honor, commissioning the artist to depict her with completely formed arms and eyes. Erected in her honor, okay, I already read that. The artist misunderstood, however, and to this day, Quan Yin is sometimes shown as a 1,000-armed and 1,000-eyed, thereby able to see and assist the masses of her people. During the 12th century, Buddhist monks settled on Piutu Shan, and devotion to Quan Yin spread through northern China. The depicturous island became the chief center of worship of the compassionate Savioress. Crowds of pilgrims would journey from the remote places in China and even from Manchuria, Mongolia, and Tibet to attend stately services there. At one time, there were more than 100 temples on the island and over 1,000 monks. The lore surrounding Piutu Island recounts several appearances and miracles performed by Quan Yin, who, it is believed, reveals herself to the faithful in a certain cave on the island. How cool. Wow. I love deep diving into these real origins and stories. You know, it makes so much more depth to what it is that we like to connect with and really like spiritually think about and bring into our everyday life. When you get this more depth, you get the more details of, you know, what kind of lifetimes they had and what kind of lessons and things that they assist with. it helps you in your daily life be able to call in these spirit guides, call in these beautiful Christ figures to be able to assist you during your darkness and during your blockages and during your illnesses and during your times of confusion on your path. So we're going to take a break from our text study, and we're going to dive into our first video. And this video is just going to be another perspective going over her lifetimes, what she went through to become the Bodhisattva, and things of that nature. So enjoy.
Somewhere along the winding mountain paths of China, where mist drapes the cliffs like breath upon the world, a bell tolls once, deep, resonant, infinite. And there, through the veil of dawn, stands a figure of quiet grace. Her robes flow like water. Her eyes hold the calm of ages. In one hand, she lifts a willow branch, supple, unbroken, and in the other, a vase of pure water that seems to gather the light itself. She stands upon a lotus, untouched by the dust of the earth, listening. This is Quan Yin, she who hears the cries of the world, the Bodhisattva of compassion, the mother of mercy, the listener of sorrow. For over 1,000 years, her name has echoed through the temples and coasts of East Asia. She has been called upon by emperors in marble halls and by mothers in candlelight. Her image rests in porcelain, in ink, in bronze, yet her true form is made of compassion itself. But her journey was not born in China. It began far to the west, in the ancient heart of India, where another name first carried her light across the world. Before she was known as Quan Yin, she was Avalokiteshvara, the Lord who gazes down in compassion. In the Mahayana Sutras, Avalokiteshvara appears as one who refuses the peace of nirvana until all beings are free. While others sought release, he vowed to stay, to walk the world's burning roads, listening for the cries of those still bound to sorrow. In the Lotus Sutra, he is called by those in peril, a traveler lost at sea, a prisoner before the blade, a woman in childbirth, a merchant surrounded by demons. Whoever calls upon his name with sincerity, the sutra says, he will hear and he will come. This promise, that a divine being listens, moved hearts across Asia. As Buddhism journeyed along the Silk Road during the Han Dynasty, 1st to 2nd century CE, Avalokiteshvara's image entered China. But to take root in Chinese soil, he would have to change. China's world was woven with its own cosmology, of yin and yang, of balance between heaven and earth, of moral harmony and filial duty. And so, over the centuries, compassion itself began to take on a new face. In early Chinese temples, Quan Yin was still depicted as a male bodhisattva, a celestial prince crowned with jewels, sometimes with 1,000 arms or 11 heads, symbolizing infinite reach and infinite sight. But by the 9th century, something subtle began to change. The face softened. The crown gave way to flowing hair. The robes became lighter, more fluid. The posture maternal, serene. The compassion that once gazed down now seemed to embrace. By the Song dynasty, Quan Yin had become unmistakably feminine, the compassionate mother of all beings. Why this transformation? Perhaps because in Chinese culture, compassion had long worn the face of motherhood, gentle, enduring, without pride. Or perhaps it was the story that began to circulate in temples and villages alike, the legend of Miao Shan. Once, it is said, there was a princess, the youngest daughter of a cruel king. When her father demanded she marry for power, she refused, seeking instead a life of virtue and meditation. Enraged, the king had her executed. But at the moment of death, her spirit blossomed into light, and she was reborn upon Mount Putuo, the sacred island where sea and sky meet. There she attained enlightenment, becoming Quan Yin, the one who listens to all suffering. In Miao Shan's story, Buddhist compassion merged with Confucian filial devotion, a bridge between worlds. Quan Yin became not just divine, but deeply human, a daughter, a martyr, a savior, and a healer. And across China, people began to whisper, "She hears us, because she was one of us." By the Ming and Qing dynasties, Quan Yin had become more than a bodhisattva. She was the beating heart of popular faith. Her temples stood on mountaintops and riverbanks, her statues in homes and markets, even on the decks of ships that braved the South China Sea. Pilgrims journeyed to Mount Putuo, where legend said she once appeared to save a shipwrecked merchant from the waves. There, at sunrise, devotees left lotus flowers and whispered their hopes into the wind, for safe journeys, for sons, for mercy in unseen trials. Quan Yin's image appeared in endless forms, sometimes seated in the pose of royal ease, one leg dangling as if ready to rise and help, sometimes holding a vase of pure water and a willow branch, symbols of healing and flexibility. And in her most awe-inspiring form, the thousand-armed Quan Yin, each hand bearing an eye, so that she may see all suffering and reach out to all who call. In porcelain and scroll, in wood and ink, she entered every corner of Chinese life. To mothers, she was protector and midwife. To sailors, guardian of storms. To scholars, a symbol of wisdom's tenderness. In the flicker of every household altar, the people saw a reflection of their own longing, that someone, somewhere, was listening. As dynasties rose and fell, Quan Yin's light crossed the seas. In Korea, she became Quan Yin, her compassion flowing through mountain temples and island hermitages. In Japan, she was Kannon, protector of travelers, her name carved into the 33 Kannon temples pilgrimage route. In Vietnam, she was Quan Am, worshipped as the gentle mother who rescues all beings from the ocean of suffering. Everywhere she went, she changed in form, yet remained the same in spirit, a mirror of each culture's deepest idea of mercy. In modern times, her image towers again, from Hong Kong's Tis Shan Monastery, where a 76-meter statue gazes out to sea, to the small altars in hospitals and prisons, where candles burn quietly beside photographs of loved ones. She belongs now to no single faith. In temples, in art, in the stillness before sleep, Quan Yin endures. A symbol not of doctrine, but of the universal need to be heard, understood, and comforted. What is it about Quan Yin that endures when empires vanish? Perhaps it lies in the meaning of her name, she who hears the cries of the world. She does not promise to erase suffering. She promises something deeper, presence within it, to listen, to act, to offer mercy as the most human of divine acts. In Mahayana Buddhism, this is compassion, karuna, not as sentiment, but as practice. It is the courage to look directly upon pain and remain unshaken. It is the vow to enter the burning house of the world and stay until every voice is heard. Quan Yin embodies this vow. She is divine yet human, transcendent yet near, a mother, a savior, a mirror to every soul that cries out. To the poor, she is deliverance. To the barren, the granter of children. To the dying, a quiet hand that never lets go. Even now, in the noise of modern life, her silence speaks. Her image stands not only in temples, but in art, in memory, in the faint echo of empathy that survives in each of us. From the sands of India to the mountains of China, from scroll to porcelain, from prayer to silence, the story of Quan Yin is the story of compassion becoming human. She began as Avalokiteshvara, the Lord who looked down. She became Quan Yin, the woman who listened up. Her transformation reveals the heart of Chinese civilization itself, the blending of philosophies, the moral gravity of listening, and the beauty of change born from empathy. And so, when the bells chime at dawn and the incense curls in the cold air, imagine her standing there, on a lotus that floats above sorrow, eyes soft but alert, hands open in blessing. She is Quan Yin, the goddess who heard the world cry and who still hears it even now.
All right. Let's continue so we can finish off our text reading of the good old goddess Quan Yin. Welcome in, everyone that's just joining. Grande, Queen, so far away. Traditions in Taiwan. So it is believed that Quan Yin frequently appears in the sky or on the waves to save those who call upon her when in danger. Personal stories can be heard in Taiwan, for instance, for those who report that during World War II, when the United States bombed the Japanese occupied Taiwan, she appeared in the sky as a young maiden, catching the bombs and covering them with her white garments so they would not explode. Thus, altars dedicated to the goddess of mercy are found everywhere. Shops, restaurants, and even taxicab dashboards. In the home, she is worshipped with the tradition Pai Pai, a prayer ritual using incense, as well as using prayer charts, sheets of paper designed with pictures of Quan Yin, lotus flowers, or pagodos. Pagodas. And these words are challenging today, stepping into that Eastern Hemisphere wording. Papai, so pagodas, and outlined with hundreds of little circles, with each set of prayers reciting or sutras read in a novena for a relative friend or oneself. Another circle is filled in. This chart has been described as a ship of salvation, whereby departed souls are saved from the dangers of hell and the faithful safely conveyed to Amidba's heaven. In addition to elaborate services with litanies and prayers, devotion to Quan Yin is expressed in the popular literature of the people in poems and hymns of praise. Devout followers of Quan Yin may frequent local temples, make pilgrimages to larger temples on important occasions, or when they are burdened with a special problem. The 3 yearly festivals held in her honor are on the 19th day of the 2nd month, of the 6th month, and of the 9th month, based on the Chinese lunar calendar. The Bodhisattva ideal. So Quan Yin's ministration is very real and as ancient as the hills. The vow taken by the Bodhisattva to stand with humanity is a sacred calling. However, she cautions us about taking it ourselves unless we thoroughly understand the service of these dedicated ones. And yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good to be the shaman. It sounds good to be the Bodhisattva. It sounds good to be the Christ. But do we understand the kind of weight that you have to bear, the responsibility, the continuous self-discipline and growth of our own evolution in order to be a frequency space holder for other souls that are going through their shadows, going through their trials and tribulations, going through their ignorance to become enlightened? It's not for everyone. So just a reminder for everyone out there, if you're just doing it for fun, if you're just doing it as a business, you may want to really think about what you're doing as a sacred space holder when it comes to being a shaman, a bodhisattva, a mediary, a Christ for another figure, because it comes with really deep alchemy, really deep empathy, and really understanding how to alchemize your empathy as well. So this is from Quan Yin. Being one with all life, we are aware of all life and its manifestation from the highest to the lowest. It is part of the Bodhisattva ideal, which is a part of those who are understanding with humanity. And there are quite a number upon this planet, although few compare to those who go with their own way of righteous living. It is a very high and holy order, and I suggest that you think long and hard about this calling before you respond and say, I will do the same. For when aeons pass and men are not moved by the flame that you hold, remember that you might wish that you had chosen another easier or more gratifying path. I'm going to stop it right there, because this is a prime example of those right now that are stepping into their higher purpose. And let me grab my charger real quick. Uh-oh. We're about to make it. There we go. Look at that. Okay. So yeah, what I was saying was, let me see. So it talked about, so just taking on this role, and it comes with a lot. That's why they say it's not for everyone, because you have to be able to peel back your judgments. You have to work with your triggers, and you got to really sit with those things that are coming up within you if you want to be a space holder for others. And it's not required for everyone to do that. I know it's a trend right now in this society that we're in to just be a healer, or call yourself a shaman, or claim that you're a almighty alchemist because maybe you read a book. But we got to realize what it ultimately and truly takes in the depths of reality to be a bodhisattva, to be a shamanic Christ for others. So it's like if you're going on a medicine journey and you're bringing this journey, there's going to be some requirements taking place to make sure it's a safe, conscious, and balanced space, so that individual doesn't go into psychosis, so that individual doesn't get stuck in their traumas, so that individual is able to process properly without losing their mind. These are important things. If we're going to be a shamanic space holder, these are things that we got to think about daily when it comes to our services. And I've been doing this shamanic work for 10 plus years now. Just turned 31. My whole adulthood has been shamanic space holding. And not just shamanic space holding, but healing my own addictions from substance abuse, overcoming my own traumas of seeing my mother go through abuse from partners outside of my dad, overcoming the instability of continuously being in the streets, selling drugs. That used to be me. Believe it or not, Marcus ChristoLight used to be living that life. So I'm a human that is relative to you, just like all of you. I'm sure all of us either have been on substances, have been locked up before, been involved in street lives, or sold a drug before. And my journey could very easily be your journey as well. All it takes is one legal issue to happen, and then next thing you know, you're in prison. Or one legal issue to happen, next thing you know, you lose your things. So that's who I used to be. And then I went through the journey of, while in prison, helping other inmates obtain meditation. I helped other inmates become aware of their chakras, how to balance them with breath work and meditation. Then when I got out of prison, that was when I completely reinvented my life, and I created ChristoLight in 2018. And then I started serving others from my experiences, from my wisdom, from the knowledge that I acquired, and continued forward to today. And I self-healed myself from my addictive traumas and patterns, from these holistic, ascended ways of life. So I'm just a walking example that we can heal. We can overcome these things. We can break our patterns, our habits, develop healthier ones, and also come into a relationship with God in this more profound way through these archetypes, through these representations of our one true creator, such as Quan Yin. So for me, just like many of us, there's a lot of trials and tribulations that you go through to become an embodied shaman, to be a embodied bodhisattva, an embodied Christ for others. There's many roles on this planet, and this doesn't have to be the role for you. You can be the artist. You can be the business builder. You can be the one that puts things in order. You can be the one that is able to help remind people of staying on track. There's so many different positions you can take. It doesn't always have to be the Christ or the shaman. And what I was getting to again in the beginning of this conversation was just be wise. Be wise of these mainstream trends that are making trends and making glorification out of this type of path. This path really is not for pride. This path is not for glorification in the sense of ego. It's not for the image, and it's not to accumulate more money. This path is exactly what this text has been saying. It's not for everyone. And you can't go around blaming others and slanging people's mud around if you choose to hold these types of spaces, because you know what you got yourself into. That's right, Lunar Queen. We know healers that we can direct people to be with. That's because we have a Sacred Kingdom community. And as you guys may or may not know, I'm the host of the community. So you guys are sitting here connecting with me, the energy that I'm about, my intentions. You're also hearing the core of who I am right now. So you think about that. This energy is permeating throughout this Sacred Kingdom. As I say, it starts at the top. Whatever's the head, whatever's the host of a space, that trickles. So everything that you're hearing from me today, it is embedded within this community, the Sacred Kingdom. And it's attracted many other beautiful souls with a like-minded heart. And we're here for you guys. You guys can access us today. Go to our directory. Scan that QR code up in the corner. Go to the link down below. And you can go check out our Sacred Kingdom link page right now. We have people all around the country, soon to be all around the world, available for you guys to receive guidance and support. And we're very serious about this. We're very serious about our principles, our boundaries, our ethics, because it's important when it comes to energy work. Grateful for the sacred kingdom. Ashe. We are diving in today. These episodes are just always fantastic. All right. So let's continue. For when aeons pass and men are not moved by the flame that you hold, remember that you might wish that you had chosen another. Ah, yes. That was the sentence I was looking for. It's so funny. Quan Yin's like, no, I want you to touch on this for a second, and then I hope you remember the sentence you left out. That's so funny. So this sentence, the reason why I want to talk about it real quick is because it says, remember that you might wish that you had not chosen, that you had chosen another easier or more gratifying way. So this is literally telling you right now that if you choose this journey of Bodhisattva, of Christ, it's giving you the warning that you're going to go through very challenging times where you may be questioning your own sanity. You might be questioning your capabilities. So this is why, to bring it into the current relative world, think about a lot of us that are in this community, or just human beings in general, where we are transitioning from a mainstream work life. We're transitioning into a free-flowing, passion-filled life of service. What usually happens? We go through a lot of challenges. We go through challenges of fear of finances. We go through challenges of, am I going to be able to get enough clients to have my bills paid? We go through, man, am I even going to be of quality? Am I bringing good service to others? Am I worthy? These are all trials that you go through because it's natural and it's meant to happen, because it's to do sharpening and alchemizing for your ascension path, because you chose this. So it's saying, just don't be surprised that when you do this and you're not getting thousands of views, you're not getting abundance of finances right away, you're not getting a ton of clients as well. It's just giving you the warning that these things are part of the journey, and there's ways that you have to navigate it if you want to continue. And through that comes a lot of devotion, a lot of self-practices, a lot of activation, continuous growth to be able to push through those thresholds. So again, just keep in mind, you're going to face your trials. You're going to face your fears and your worries, but it's all part of it. Me too. I definitely agree that you don't have to be a healer to be wise in the spiritual community. Exactly. That's why when you look at the greatest communities in the history of our earth and civilizations, not everyone's the pharaoh. Not everyone's the priestess. Not everyone is the builder. Not everyone's the archetype or the architect. We all have different positions. We have different roles that help make the sustaining of a community. So for me, I'm designed and birthed to be a leader, to be a host, to be a space holder, to help bring people together and lead us forward into new light, because it's in my genetic makeup. I'm a life path 33. I am a Lyran soul. I am also a manifestor human design. So I'm literally designed with this being to be a Christ embodiment, lead role figure in the places that I hold space for. And once I came aware of that and really owned that, then I was able to step into this path that I'm on now and continue forward for these years and creating such consistency, devotion, and reliability, not only for myself, but for others. So you just gotta align yourself with your true self, your true purpose, your true path. And as you do that, things will unfold with you very naturally. Okay. So as the centuries pass, the thousands of years and the cycles, and the same individuals whom you have nourished by the power of the heart flame are involved in the same involvements in the world. You find that you cry out to God and say, "O Lord, how long? How long will this wayward generation be in coming to the knowledge of their divinity and of the love of the sacred fire that we have held for so long?" The mercy flame, the signature flame of Quan Yin. Quan Yin represents the qualities of mercy and compassion to the evolutions of Earth. The mercy flame is the means whereby Christ intercedes on behalf of those who have erred, who cannot bear the full brunt of the law that demands swift recompensation for each violation. The quality of mercy tempers the return of mankind's own karma, staying the hand of justice until that time when individuals are able to stand, face, and conquer their own human creation. Quan Yin tells us that mercy is the quality of love that smoothens the rough places of life, that heals the sores of the etheric body, that mends the cleavages of mind and feelings, that clears away the debris of sin and the sense of struggle before these manifestation in the physical body as disease, decay, disintegration, and death. Mercy is the strongest power in the universe, Quan Yin says, for it is the power of the will of God. The power of mercy is the intensity of love that will dissolve all fear, all doubt, all reconciliation, and rebellion within the race. The mercy of the law is sometimes very stern, but is always patient, always tolerant, and it sees the flame within the heart rising, rising, rising to meet the Christ. Quan Yin reminds us, when you feel the need of greater strength, of illumination, of greater purity and healing, remember that all of these qualities come to you from the heart of God by the power of the flame of mercy itself. For in forgiveness, there come renewed opportunities to fulfill the law, and without forgiveness, little progress can be made. Therefore, in order to re-enter the walk with God, we need forgiveness. And I'm gonna touch on that real quick. If you remember, it's so within, so without, as above, so below. So as we're just describing God, and we're talking about the heart of God and the mercy of God, we got to keep in mind that, we are one with God. We are the image. We are the I am that I am. So it's also saying that in your heart chakra, the power of God's mercy is sitting right there dormant, waiting for you to tell yourself and acknowledge it within yourself that you are allowing mercy to be available, that you are allowing mercy to be present within your life. It's not that you have to ask God for mercy. God's mercy is already eternal. It is up to you to remember to give your own self mercy, because God's mercy is always available. So while you're waiting around, asking, hoping, it's really all about you acknowledging inside of your own head, I am giving myself mercy in this moment. I am letting go of being harsh on myself. I'm going to stop being harsh to others, and I'm going to allow mercy to take over through my own heart inside of me as a vehicle of the Spirit. I love reminding people of that because we're always seeking outside of us, waiting, contemplating, when it's also right within. Tell yourself that you allow God to forgive you. The need for forgiveness. When we invoke it, let us realize that our own Christ self is our psychiatrist or psychologist or minister or priest or rabbi or friend, the one to whom we would go daily to unburden ourselves, as the American Indians did. They made a circle around the campfire at night and discussed the events of the day, and all that they didn't like, they threw it into the flames. It is the same principle that has been taught in every religion of the world. When we put it into the flame, we can go to bed at night in peace. Much insomnia is caused because we are not releasing our daily karma, our daily burdens. Therefore, we are not at peace with ourselves and with God. We have a need for confession, a need to tell God that we have done that is not in keeping with His law, until we tell Him about it and ask for His flame of forgiveness to pass through us. We have the same sense of guilt, fear, shame, and above all, separation from Him. And if you don't want to say Him, you can say it, you can say Creator, Source. It just says Him because it's talking about the Father principle, the masculine force. Today, this is manifest in all kinds of mental and emotional diseases, split personalities, hatred of father and mother, hatred of children, and many other problems to which modern society has fallen prey. The path back to the Guru, the inner Christ, is calling upon the law of forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that we invoke not only for ourselves, we need to invoke it for every part of life, all who ever wronged us, all whom we have wronged. Saint Germain teaches us that when we invoke forgiveness, it must be by a very intense love in our heart. We need to let each other know that we forgive and that we are asking for forgiveness. And it's a point of humility to say, I have done wrong, and I ask you and God to forgive me. When we invoke the law of forgiveness, it bursts like fireworks in the aura as violet, purple, and pink, dissolving unpleasant conditions in our world, and it begins to intensify until great spheres of energy are going forth from our heart and inundating the world. You may visualize a loved one, a child, a self-styled enemy, a political figure. You may visualize an entire city, the government, the whole nation of the planet, within this brilliant sphere of mercy's flame, becoming the recipient of waves and waves of this wine of forgiveness. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should focus on that. Can we maybe get our collective to focus on this instead of who they hate, who they fear, talking crap about figures, wishing things upon these figures, while forgetting that you are one with them and that they are actually you? So you can go around and judge Trump. You can go and judge Netanyahu, Putin, Kim Jong, like all these different figures. But in the end, your judgments, you're judging yourself. So remember that as we continue on this journey. Just because you disdain, just because you don't like something, doesn't mean your judgments are disqualified from the laws of the universe. You can't escape the oneness that we are. Or I should say, the zero that we are. Because we're actually all zero. So just remember that, guys. It's okay to have your reflections, to talk about what you feel. But just remember, when it comes to judgment, harsh criticism, wishing death upon someone, and things of that nature that you ultimately don't even know, never even spoken to, and we're in a world of propaganda, you just may want to be careful who you're talking about. You could be talking about someone that behind closed doors could be doing anything that they could to try to make it a better world for you. And because of propaganda, maybe you have a slanted perspective of what's really going on. You just never know. So I would choose to be humble on this journey and just allow everyone to have their journey. So guys, if you feel called, call in this bubble of Quan Yin's energy and mercy, and call it in on the figures that you don't like. Call it in on the government, call it in on the world, and focus on that. Focus on their healing, focus on their enlightenment, because we're all on that journey together. So forgiveness is a law, and by this law, our sins are set aside to give the opportunity to develop Christ consciousness. Training in the law of forgiveness is necessary, Quan Yin instructs us, for it is indeed the foundation of the Aquarian age. Forgiveness is not the balancing of karma, it is the setting aside of karma, whereby you are given the freedom and renewed creativity to conquer, to go forth, to make things right without the heavy burden, that weight of sin. And when you come to the place where you have further attainment, then, according to the law of forgiveness, that karma that was set aside is returned to you. And in your heightened state of consciousness in the plane of self-mastery, you are quickly able to place in the flame that substance for transmutation and to pursue your higher calling. There's a difference between forgiveness of sins and their transmutation. Someone may steal your purse and later tell you that he is sorry he took it. You may forgive him, but the matter is not closed, karmically speaking, until he returns the purse to you, with every penny intact, or makes whatever restitution is necessary. Forgiveness is not the balancing of karma, it is the setting aside of karma, whereby you are given the freedom to make things right without the heavy burden of sin. The foundation of the path of the abundant life, or of science, is forgiveness. It is the resolution of harmony between each part of God. It is an intense love, action of the freedom love, the energies of the violet flame. The energies of God are always pulsating, always moving, and they are transmuting the records of the subconscious. Forgiveness is the fulfillment of the law in Isaiah. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. The need to forgive. If you expect forgiveness, then you must be ready to forgive 70 times 7, as the Master Jesus taught. In small ways and great ways, mankind is tested, Quan Yin says, and the bigotry that remains in the consciousness of some is also a lack of forgiveness. Those who cannot forgive their fellow men because they do not think or worship as they do, these have the hardness of heart that encases the flame of love and also prevents the flow of wisdom. The mercy of the law is like a two-way street. It is a signal that you send to God and the signal that he returns. A two-way street means that give and take with God. That's funny, I used to always say that it's a two-way street with God. You can't just like demand God do something and then you don't take the right actions in your life and then sit there and be like, God's terrible, man, I hate God. God hates me. No, it's because you didn't take the actions that you're supposed to responsibly to be the change that you're wanting to become. You can't sit there and blame God for the chronic illness that we developed when we're eating donuts and hot dogs and all of these things every day, and we're never eating nutrition, never drinking water. Next thing you know, we have a disease. You can't sit there and just be like, oh, God's punishing me. How dare you, God, give me a disease? No, if you really think tangibly about life and you come to an understanding of how nutrition works in the body, you'd understand that you were depriving yourself of the nutrition you needed in order to heal and thrive as a human being. So time and time again, we have all heard the cliche, let bygones be gones, or bygones be let bygones be bygones, forgive and forget. This is so true because it can still resurrect the memory of a wrong that has been done to you. Then you have not truly forgiven. In order to forgive, the record and memory must be dissolved from the consciousness. Quan Yin tells us that it is not the case. Not only have you not truly forgiven, but you have hardened your heart. You have stored the record as a squirrel with its nuts deep within the subconscious. Deep in the etheric plane, you have stored the record of that wrong. You have not released it into the flame. You have not been willing to let go and let God be free to express in those who have wronged you and those whom you have wronged. One of the best ways to accomplish this, complete forgiving and forgetting, is by the use of the science of the spoken word, accompanied by visualization in a mantra, forgiveness, written by El Moria, in his heart, head, and hand decrees. So this is what it goes by. You guys can read this if you would like. It goes by, I am forgiveness acting here, casting out all doubt and fear, setting men forever free with wings of cosmic victory. I am calling in full power for forgiveness every hour. To all life in every place, I flood forth forgiving grace. As you give this prayer daily, you may wish to visualize the flames of mercy, which are a lovely pink and violet color, unfolding your being and removing the cause and core of many wrongs in the past. It is possible to experience a great sense of relief from burdens you may have been carrying for centuries as you call for forgiveness for your sins. Even though of which you may not be aware in this embodiment, and then truly accept God's grace and forgiveness that He is extending to you through the gift of the violet transmuting flame. The color violet has many hues, ranging from the orchid pink of mercy's flame, containing a greater saturation of the pink ray of God's love, to the deep purple flame that embodies more of the blue of the will of God. The purple flame has a greater electronic cleansing action, which then uses alternately pass, which when used alternatively with the healing green decrees will effectively purify and heal the four lower bodies, especially the etheric body, the memory body of the records of the past that may be buried deep within the subconscious. This is where subconscious reprogramming comes in, and clearing of your subconscious or your light body. To invoke this flame, take any violet flame decree and substitute the word purple for violet. Sometimes more difficult to penetrate the etheric body than to any other lower bodies. Therefore, the repetition of a mantra 36 times can be very effective in clearing old records of past momentums. So 36 times with the mantra is what they say. All right, our last section, service on the karmic board. Quan Yin reminds us of another facet of the flame of mercy. For many of you, I have pleaded before the Lords of Karma for the opportunity to embody, to be whole, to not have dealt to you in the physical the great karma of being maimed and blinded at birth that some of you have deserved. I have interceded with the flame of mercy on your behalf so that you could pursue, in the freedom of a sound mind and body, the light of the law. Some may have denied that mercy by the Lords of Karma, are today in the institutions for that insane. For them it was meted that they should experience the agony of the absence of the presence of the Christ mind, that they might not know what it is to defile that mind, that they might return another life and appreciate the gift of reason, the gift to pursue the holy word incarnate by the power of the Logos. You do not realize how much has hung in the balance of your own life because mercy's flame has been available to you. You have called and God has answered, and through my heart and my hands, mercy has flowed. I say this that you might also have the wisdom to understand that when mercy has been accorded for a time, you are expected to deliver the fruits of mercy, following the works of the Lord in the way of wisdom. The Bodhisattva Quan Yin is known as the Goddess of Mercy because she ensouls the God qualities of mercy, compassion, and forgiveness. She serves on the karmic board as the representative of the 7th Violet Ray. She also held the office of Chohan of the 7th Ray for 2,000 years under Saint Germain, assumed that office in the late 1700s. Her retreat full of mercy. She has taken her ascension thousands of years ago and has taken the vow of Bodhisattva to serve the planet Earth until all her evolutions are free. From her etheric retreat, the Temple of Mercy, over Beijing, China, she ministers to the souls of humanity, teaching them to balance their karma and fulfill their divine plan through loving service to life and application of the violet flame. Quan Yin's flame is the color of orchids, the pink of divine love, tempering the blue of the will of God. Her flower is a pink and violet lotus. The center, being pink, is as the mercy flame, becoming deeper and deeper, violet of the periphery. Wow. That is TSL Encyclopedia, which is Summit Lighthouse, Ascended Master Encyclopedia.org for everyone. Oof. Quan Yin. Feel free to drop your comments. Is there anything you want to share about Quan Yin or anything else that relates? If you guys have any questions, if anybody would like maybe an oracle card, just let me know. Lunar Queen says, also when God asks you to do something for someone, it helps you receive blessings in abundance. Yeah, absolutely. That's one way to think about service to others, is that by serving others, you're going to receive the spiritual energy through you to serve to others. So you're automatically receiving. It's like when you're giving Reiki. When you're giving Reiki, you're receiving that channeled Reiki energy through your being as well, receiving a benefit, while then transferring that benefit over to them as well. And that's what it means to serve others. Instead of serving self, where you just benefit and you just worry about your own ego and self, you can receive and give to others at the same time through service to others. And there's no right or wrong. You choose your journey, it's your free will. It'll end up getting you on your ascension path at some point. But just keep in mind, you don't have to go certain directions if you don't want to. Ooh-wee. All right, guys. It's been a powerful episode, I gotta say. Let's go ahead and get ready to wrap up. And this final part, this is going to be an 8-minute emerald green light code, light language healing transmission from Quan Yin. So for this, go ahead and get yourself ready. Grab your crystals if you would like. Good crystals that connect with Quan Yin. It can be heart, higher heart chakra. So we're talking about the jades, adventurine, aquamarine, amazonite, rose quartz. You can think of moldavite. You can bring it into the violet ray as well with amethyst, sugarlight. And then you could even use a selenite or quartz as well, since they're master transmuters and amplifiers. So feel free to grab your crystals, burn some sage or Palo Santo or incense. Remember, incense are really big with Quan Yin's connection. And then feel free to get your space set. Get ready to receive. Get ready to get into your meditation as we're going to listen and receive some Quan Yin emerald green light language codes. All right. So we'll be back in 44. All right. Let's go ahead and get yourself ready to receive. It's time to receive this transmission.
Dragon Mother, Goddess Quan Yin, Emerald Light Codes, Light Language Healing Transmission. Activates. Kulunai ki isayu kulune shininayu ku unsanai. Undunai kili ai sikikayu ushundunai ki isai. Mininayo kulunai, sininayo kulunai, kinsanai. Ushundanai kininayo kulunai misikikayo, ushundanai kilinayo kulunai nisinayo. Unshadanai kininayo kulunai mininai kisikikayo, ushundanai kisikayo. Into the Emerald Temple, you arrive. Bathe in the light of the Divine Goddess, Mother Dragon, Quan Yin Pusa. Hushukunayi kilinayo, sununakai kisikikayo shi, nunai kishinayo kulunai, chishununayi kisikikayo kulunai, mininaye lisininayo kulunai sikikayo. Shundanayi nininayo kulunanayi kisikikayo. Undanayi kisikikayo. Ushundanayi ki isikikayo. Lunayi kisikikayo. Ulunayi ki ninayo kulunanayi sikikayo. Ukulunayi sikikayo. Shunkanai sayu kushunai lukunai sikikayo ushundanai kisikikayo kushundanai kisikikayo ushukunai kisikikayo lununai kininayo lininayo kulunai sikikayo ushundanai kininayo kulunai kininayo kulunai sikikayo ukulunai sikikayo. As a vibrational light field, primed and infused, the emerald light codes into your auric field and the center of your heart. Begin to allow your body to come into a deeper state, receptivity to the light codes that shall imbue into your soul, mind, heart, and body to cleanse out blockages that no longer serves you at this time. We ask for these densities to begin vibrating at a frequency and vibration, allowing, opening, receiving the purest divine light, divine love. Let the following transmission seep deeper into your soul, mind, heart, and body. Let us begin. Phase 2 activates. Kulunai kiki sikikayo ukulunai nininai sikikayo shu. Kulunai ni sinikayo ukushunanai kininayo sukulunai kisikikayo usukunai. Ninai ni sininayo kulunai ki isayo. Sininayo kulunai kininayo lunai sikayo. Unshanai ki isayo kulunai. Misidinayo kulunai sitayo kuundai. Sininayo kulunai sikayo. Musukunai ninai ki isayo. Lunai ni kisayo, ukulunai siyo, ninayoi Minai ni minai. Sili nai ni kini nai o ikini nai ki sikikayo. Sini nai ki iki nai o ikini nai ki. Sini nai o kini nai ni kini nai. Sini nai no kulu nai kini nai. Sini nai o kuluna nai kini nai ulu nai ki sikikayo nununu nai ni nai ni nai ni nai o kuluna ni ki sikikayo shunu nai. We ask you now, beautiful soul, to begin diving even deeper now into the space of elevation, upliftment, and ascension. Allow now all frequencies in your body, all cells, to vibrate and receive the highest vibration now as we enter the third phase. Third phase activation begins. Dulunai kininayo kulunai sinaya kulunai si. Dulunai kininayo sukunai ki isayo. Ulunai sikayo udunai sikayo shunai kininayo kulunai sikikayo shunai kininayo kulunai misikikayo kushunai kininayo kulunai sikikayo shunai sikikayo shunai ki isai linai ki isayo ukulunai ukulunai sikikayo ukulunai Shunanai kisayo ukulunai, shikinai sikayo ukulunai. How? Grounding sequence. Activate. Dulunai kininayo ushundunai ki isayo ku ushundanai ki isayo ku unshundanai kininai ikililayo. Transmission complete.
Oof. Boy. It's really quiet after that. Such beautiful energy. Whew. All right. Well, that does it again for another wonderful episode. Thank you all that have joined, commented, and been a part of this space. Lunar Queen, Rhonda, Kat, Warren, anyone else that was here. Thank you all. Dina. Appreciate you guys. Just make sure you guys continue to help boost the algorithm by giving a like to the content, sharing the content with those that you feel could resonate and benefit from this, whether it's family, community, clients, any of the above. And just remember that we are the ones that continue to spread the word. You know what I mean? Spread the word is to help people realize that they are directly connected to the Creator, that we are all the Christ within ourselves. And that's what's giving us the breath of life. And if we didn't have a breath of life right now, then we wouldn't be connected to that spark. So in order for me to exist, in order for you to exist, there is something from the Creator that is inside of us that is giving us the ability to live. So just remember that and do not shut that away. Allow that to flow, allow that to shine, and just continue to be your best self. Allow mercy to flow through you and through others, knowing that we are on a journey of imperfection and that we are here to grow and go through our trials and tribulations. That being said, it is Thursday, so that does it for this week with this series. We'll be back next week and we'll continue our Ascended Master archetypes. The next live that you guys can check out, we have a new premiere coming later today at 6 p.m. Eastern. And at 6 p.m. Eastern, you can watch it here on Sacred Light Broadcast Network, or you can watch it on DNA Talks on YouTube. We're going to be having the first episode, the introduction to the new podcast I'm producing with honor called DNA Talks, hosted by Dina Morales in Kansas, who is a female women's health fitness coach who owns her own gym, independent entrepreneur, and she does nutrition, fitness, and overall well-being for women. So check this out.
She didn't just change her body. She rebuilt who she was entirely. Meet Dina Morales, founder of DNA Training, and your host for DNA Talks. This is a show for women who are done with surface-level change. Real, raw conversations about fitness, motherhood, healing, confidence, discipline, and becoming who you were always meant to be. Transformation from the inside out. New episodes every week, right here on YouTube. Subscribe to DNA Talks, and let's get to work. DNA Talks. Stronger starts here.
That's right. Check it out later today, 6 p.m. Eastern. Support our people. You know, these are our everyday neighbors, including myself, that are out here devoting our life to help you guys. So all we ask is just show up as you, support in the ways you can, whether it's liking or sharing, and let's continue to elevate. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day.
Eyes closed, floating on a lake, sound vibrating through your bones. This is Summer Solstice. Hosted by Sacred Kingdom Community, the Summer Solstice 26 Ascended Masters Retreat is an intentional healing of the divine masculine, balanced with the feminine, to honor Father's Day weekend. 4 days of embodied teachings, ceremonies, and live music in Ohio's Zaleski State Forest at Lake Hope, camping under the canopy, vegetarian brunches and dinners included, a sober, safe container to be vulnerable, supported, and real. Guided by shamanic space holder and producer Marcus ChristoLight of Sacred Light Healing and Wellness Sharing Cacao, Galactic Pioneer Wisdom, and more. Sacred Space Holders. Priestess Jessie of Sacred Phoenix Sisterhood Circle leads ecstatic dance. Kat of Kat's Treasure Tree journeys into shadow with an Anubis obsidian aerospace. Kirsten of Mama K's Creations teaches dreamcatcher weaving. Twin Moon Sisters Cheyenne and Victoria offer a floating sound bath on the lake. More sacred spaces to be announced. Live music by Aura de Prophet, Evan Sturgeon, and Cricket de Gift. Bring a kayak, paddleboard, or floaty for the lake, and free time to drift whenever you feel. June 1922, 2026. Ages 12 plus with adult. No drugs or alcohol. Tickets, $99 for a single day without stay, or $333 for all 3 days with stay. Register via the Jotform link or QR code, or email marcustut23@gmail.com with questions. Come meet your tribe.
The mind's eye, it's in these times we know we're never alone. Where there's a will, where there's a will, there's a way, there's a way. Yeah, the change, well, it's coming, it's here today.
We coasting with potion, high five. down to the ground, bitch, we chosen. CLE got the flow like the ocean. Can escape when your brain is eroded. We got that light. Chakras hella bright. Check my triple sight.
Yeah, you know we consciously.
We got that light. Chakras hella bright. Check my triple sight.
It has been written that we are ascending, but we're the descendants of the source of all existence. Yeah, it has been written that we are ascending, but we're the